Alright, so today's video is going to be a review on WandaVision. Now, I just did a review for Agatha All Along. I don't know if that's out on the channel yet or not. If it isn't, it will be soon. If it is, you can go watch that if you're curious about it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so the plot. Give the plot for this show in 8.6. It's a pretty original plot. I think it covers the story that they wanted to tell pretty well, too. It was pretty clear, they wanted to kind of tell about Wanda's grief after Infinity War and Endgame, and I felt like they did a pretty good job of that. And they did it not only, not only did they execute her storyline well, but they also did it in a creative way that was like fun and interesting. That's really as much as I can say about it. I mean, the sitcom, I guess I can mention that the sitcom element of it was, that's the main creative part that I like. I'm really hitting the ums here. Okay, so dialogue. Dialogue is a 7.3. Now, before, when I was setting everything up for this recording here, I had the dialogue actually at a 7 flat. But then I kind of started thinking about some of the lines that Vision and Wanda had, like, like back and forth throughout the show. And it made me think about, okay, like, Wanda and Vision's dialogue is actually pretty good. However, Darcy and all of the S.H.I.E.L.D. people, it is horrible. It is horrible dialogue. It is the most bland, like, it's Darcy, Monica, and I can't think of what's his name, Jimmy. It's Jimmy something. I can't think of the dude's name. It's the cop guy. But yeah. Anyway, that whole shield. No, it's not shield. It's sword. The whole sword side of things. It is just horrible dialogue. It's just explaining everything. It even sounds bad even when they're not explaining the plot. It just sounds very basic. It sounds like, honestly, that half these people haven't acted before, which they definitely have, and they're definitely like quality actors. Like they're not bad at acting. It's just the dialogue, I think, makes it really, really tough on them to kind of salvage anything out of that. All right, so then we got the acting. Again, this is carried by Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, and Catherine Hahn. Quite frankly, outside of that, there's not a lot going on. So again, this is another rating that they raise up, and that the sword side of the show, is it sword or shield? I think it's sword. I watched it like 2 weeks ago, but I'm forgetting it now. It's one of the two. Yeah. So I hope it is. I really hope it is. I'm having a hard time remembering. All right. So anyway, yeah, the acting, it's really just Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, Catherine Hahn. They kill it in the parts that they're in the show. Outside of that, I don't really like any of the actors or actresses that are in the show. As far as like, I like them individually, but I don't like them in the show. Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to the cinematography. Cinematography is a 8.4. This show looks pretty good. It looks pretty good in its fight scenes. It looks pretty good as far as the visual effects go. It looks as far as the set design goes on an episode to episode basis. As far as the wardrobe goes, they really killed it on a lot of the different fronts as far as like visuals go. And honestly, an 8.4 might be too low. I think you could maybe argue it's too low, but that's where it's going to be for now. That's probably where it's going to stick. Yeah, so gave it an 8.4. All right, so then the soundtrack, I gave the soundtrack to me is the best thing about the show. I gave it a 9 flat. All the little theme songs they made for the sitcom intros and the post-credit scenes, or not post-credit scenes, but just the post-credits, or just the credits. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I felt like the music in this show really helped it out a lot. I didn't really notice too much of the action soundtrack they had in this, but I did notice the intros, the outros, and I think there's another theme in the show that's pretty good too. But it's a really good soundtrack, like just straight up. I'm really having a hard time stuttering today. All right, so going on to the bonus categories, these aren't going to show up on the side here. 8.4 for comedy. It's pretty good comedically. World building, I gave it an 8.1. There's so much they could have done with this that they didn't do with this. Look, they introduced like a different side of like the witchy side of the MCU with this, but at the same time, it's just they could have done so much more. And I feel like there's an opportunity to maybe bring in Avengers here, and the fact that like I can't really go into that. I can't really go into that for people who haven't seen the show. But Anyway, I thought there was opportunities to expand. They did an okay job. They could have done a better job. Characters 7-6 again, heavily weighted up from Wanda and Vision, heavily weighted down from everybody else on the sword or shield side of things. Um, Action, I give it a 7-7. There's really not a lot of action in this. It's mainly a drama thriller show, which I'm very cool with. Not everything needs to be action, but as far as the action that was in this, it wasn't great. Detail, I give it a 9 as far as detail goes. There was a lot of extra detail, like I said, in the wardrobe and the intros. Like everything to make it feel like those sitcom eras, they did a really good job making it feel that way. So yeah, that's where we're at for all the categories and bonus categories, and the final total rating here is an 8.5. Now, it's an 8.5. Let's see how this compares to some of the other things I have up here. Okay, so like I'm basically saying it's on par with like the Better Call Saul seasons, like season 1 through 3 of Better Call Saul. It's on par with that, and then season 5 of Better Call Saul is better. It's about that range. I think it's fair to say, as far as like a superhero TV show, I felt it was a really interesting, unique take. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the show. I generally enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when I watched it before. I enjoyed it when I watched it again. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace.